All right, this is the beginning of my presentation. Just videoing around the room so you see that I do have an audience. All right, good afternoon, class. How's everybody doing today?
We're doing good.
All right. Thank you for attending the classroom today. Today we're going to be discussing the do-it-yourself baseboard installation. Okay. My name is David Williamson, and this is for a course that I'm doing at the University of North Texas. Okay. I want to do a few introductions. I already introduced myself, but a little bit more about me. Again, my name is David Williamson. I'm a student at the University of North Texas, and I'm doing this presentation as a project, and it's called Do-It-Yourself Installation. I have about, for baseboards, I have about 5 years experience installing items like this. So, again, this is for the novice, somebody that doesn't know how to install baseboards. We're going to cover basics so that way you guys can understand it. Let's go around the room, okay, and introduce yourself real quick, your name and where you're from.
My name is Kylie and I am from California.
All right, nice to meet you, Kylie.
I'm Caitlin and I'm from Nevada.
Caitlin, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I am Carissa and I am from California.
All right, Carissa, thanks for being here today.
I am Kirsten Williamson and I am from California.
Great. Well, thank you all for being here and attending this class today. My goal is, at the end of this class, I do want you guys to be able to go home and perform these steps if you wanted to take on a small little DIY project around the house. Okay, really quick before we get started, I want to go over a few safety points, okay? Our exit points from this room are only the door right here, okay? But if you hook a left, a real quick left, and then another quick left, that's the safety exit right there, alrighty? Our meeting point's gonna be out in the middle of the parking lot, all right, in case anything happens. Fire or any kind of issue inside the building. Our head count, can somebody be responsible for taking the head count? Okay, Carissa, go ahead. What's the number that we're dealing with right now?
4,
Well, a total of people in the classroom here?
6.
We have 6? Okay. Thank you. Got a little bit of stuff going on here. Be okay. So we are looking at 6, all right. 911 assignment, okay? We are at 2600 Blue Mink Drive, okay? If any accident were to happen and we need 911 to come and respond, can somebody do 911 for us? All right, Caitlin, you're going to do 911, okay? All right, and we have a phone right outside this office in the cube, or outside of the conference room in the cube right here across the way. In case of a fire, you guys know this, but we're going to cover it. You exit immediately. Don't try to fight the fire, okay? First aid. Is anybody certified in first aid and CPR? All right, Kylie, thank you. You go ahead and you can take on that role for us. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're going to go with Kylie. Okay. And I'm going to show it here too. Okay. And just so that you know, if somebody were to fall, have a heart attack or anything in here, hook a left right outside the door at the end by the stairway. There is an AED over there. That's the automatic defibrillator. Okay. We know that we have tornadoes here in Texas, right? So, storm shelters. Okay, we have 2 storm shelters inside this building. One upstairs and one downstairs. Us being downstairs, we will be utilizing storm shelter right here to the left. Go out this door to the left. It's inside the girls' bathroom. Okay, that's where we will be going in case of a tornado. Break policy. Being that the class is so short, I think that we're going to minimize the breaks. But if this was, if it wound up going a little bit longer, and you guys, feel the need to take a restroom break or whatnot, definitely raise your hand, and I will allot, a 10-minute break. I I do ask that all your cell phones and your BlackBerries, okay, pagers, be turned off or silenced. I do understand that some of you guys are managers and you have direct reports and things that do need to be addressed. So if you do need to take that call, please step outside the classroom. Let's show some respect towards the other participants, okay? Okay, really quick, walkways and aisles, okay? What are some of the safety hazards that we have in this room? Can anybody look around and tell us what you guys see that we need to be mindful of? What's that?
Safety building procedure.
Okay, well, that's good, but I'm talking more about if you guys, for example, sit in your chairs and you leave your fingers right here and you go to move in, is that a pinch point? You guys can pinch your fingers, or these seats, they sink down when you sit into them, and if you were too low and you got up and your hand was here, it can get pinched underneath, stuff like that. That's a safety hazard, isn't it? Carissa, you have one?
The cords.
Cords, perfect. Those are tripping hazards, okay? Even though those are up there, we do have cords around on the floor at times with all the computers and electronics, okay? What other things do we have that will pose a tripping hazard? Carissa?
Bags.
Bags, perfect. We do have a bag over there. Some of you guys I see have some bags around the table, okay? Another thing that I do want to point out are your chairs, okay? Walking path of travel. If you guys are walking down this way, you do want to be mindful of that chair, okay? If you guys will walk by here, this chair can be out and you can stub a toe or you can slip or you can run right into it. And I think maybe one of the last ones would be the door. If you guys are standing right by the door and somebody came walking in, it can, all right, it can hurt. So you guys want to definitely stay away and keep clear from that doorway, okay? All right. Okay, so we're going to move on with the presentation, okay? Tools for the job. Do any of you guys recognize any of those tools? Okay. Kirsten?
There's a saw right there at the bottom.
Okay. A wood saw?
Yes.
Okay. Carissa?
Nails.
There are some nails up there. Very well, very well. And how about you, Caitlin?
There's tape measure.
Tape measure, that's right. And Kylie?
I believe that's a staple gun.
Close. That is a nail gun. Is what we call a brad nailer, okay? Very good, very good. And then we have our X-Acto knife, okay, over here. And this right here is a manual miter base, okay? So you put your wood in there and you take your saw and you can cut certain angles. Normally there's measurements on here, okay? We won't be using a miter. We'll be using our manual, and we'll be using a power miter saw, okay, for all of our cuts. But very good. You guys seem like you know those tools very well. Okay. Types of corners, okay? When you are installing baseboards, all right, you have two types of corners that you deal with, right? Standard corners. You have your outside corner, okay, where two pieces of the baseboard come together, and you have an inside corner, okay, where they come together right here. Depending on what kind of corner you will be applying that baseboard to is the type of cut that you need to make. So we have to be mindful of that, okay? Another thing that it explains here are about a couple of types of joints, okay? You recognize a coping joint, you see a butt joint, and you see a miter joint, right? That basically is where they come together, okay? It's the technical term, and it all depends on the type of cut that we make, okay? So just be mindful of that, all right? Okay, speaking of cuts, the types of cuts, okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 types of cuts. These cuts are what we use when we are installing baseboard, okay? We have the miter cut, we have the cross cut, we have the rip cut, and we have a bevel cut. Cross cut, you're gonna cut perpendicular to the grain of wood. The miter cut, you will angle it out from the face of the wood, okay? Your rip cut is gonna be parallel to the grain, and your bevel cut, okay, angle the cut, okay, from the edge of the wood. So basically, it would go that direction, straight down, okay, or vice versa. Next slide, please. All right. Now that we have that covered, so your learning objectives, Okay, at the end of this presentation today, you will have the knowledge and the understanding to do the following. Remove old baseboards from your home. Measure and cut baseboards accurately. And install new baseboards. What are baseboards? Well, baseboards cover the joints between the walls and the floor, and they add an essential finishing touch to your room. Not only this, but they are relatively easy to cut and install, making them a perfect DIY project for the adventurous homeowners. So if you look here, these are all your types of and styles of baseboards, right? And what you have is a floor and a bare wall. You can see just from the picture alone of how nice it makes it look. It definitely adds a sense of style to your home. Okay. So how are we going to install baseboards? Okay. Well, we're going to remove the old baseboard trim. We're going to measure and cut the new baseboard trim, and then we're going to install and finish